This conference will now be recorded.
Sure. Okay, so in the last class, we spoke about your branching strategy, and we saw respect to the GitHub and how do you pull your request and how do you create your new branches, right? All the things in here. So now let's go ahead back to our Azure repository again, and let's try to understand the different things what we have in here. So I believe you already we cloned your repository, right? We cloned back to my local machine, and we are able to push a code to your remote registry. And we saw a lot many things, right? So we saw the history and all those things, downloading your files and all those things in here. So now what I want to I want to push a .NET code inside it. Okay, I want to go and push a .NET code, and I want to create my CI/CD pipelines in here. So I'm trying to go with my Azure Devops organization, and I would like to create a project first of all. So try to create in your default directory. Okay. Yeah, now I'm default directory, and here I am trying to create my project. So I'm trying to, let me go back to my repos with my local folder. Now I'm trying to go something like .NET app, .NET application. So my private project, and I'm trying to create my project in here. So now when you try to create project, you can see your Azure pipelines and all those things in here. So what I'll do, I will try to go ahead and I will try to clone my repository to my local machine, and I will push my .NET code in here. Okay, so go ahead, clone in my Visual Studio Code so that I can have my empty .NET app respect to repository back into my local machine, so that I can add my .NET code inside that. I can push it back to my repository back in again. So for that reason being, I'm trying to clone my things using my Visual Studio Code. Yeah, go ahead and open my URL. So this may take a little bit time to come up for the prompt where it asks you where do you want to clone your test.NET repository in here. So once you get the particular prompt, you can go ahead and you can choose the repository location where you want to clone your things. And so see here guys, I'll show you my code what I have in here. So .NET application code, this is I got from Google, but I can push this code for you guys as well, not a problem for me. Okay, and so this particular code what I have in this, when you talk about Google, my CS project file is very important with respect to my .NET. Okay, my CS project file. So with this particular project file only, everything will be this getting initiated with respect to my code level in here, .NET code level in here. So for that reason being, uh, uh, we'll try to mention where's the project file, what are things in your CI/CD pipelines, all those things. Now we'll see that particular part. So let me see. Yeah, now it asks me. So now D drive, my training, my repos, and this is selection. I'm trying to go with where I'm trying to clone my things back into my, the location where I'm trying to go with. Yeah, it's clone. Now I'm trying to open a new window. I'm trying to close my earlier window. It's not more required for me, and expand my current window in here. Or else you can see .NET has already been cloned or been copied to my local system in here. So go back to my things in here. Let me copy the whole code what I have in here. See, Control A, Control C, and going to my repos, I have a .NET application folder, and place your code in here. So this is my code I'm having in here. So now what I'll do, I will try to push this particular code to my repository level. So how do you push it? Go to the source controller, and you can say code added, tick mark to commit, say yes, and you can go and say push. So now come back here, refresh your page. Now I should be able to see my, yeah, new code came up in here. So this is my actual code what I have, where my code lies within my index.html. So this is the base code. Based upon this only my content will be displayed on my web page, on my application level in here. Okay, so within this one I can see my CS project file to do. So this is important file where we, with respect to .NET application in here, where based upon this only everything has been initiated. Okay, fine. So my code is available in my repository level. Now what I need to do? I need to create my CI pipeline. That means I need to build my code, right? So this is the code what I have from a developer. But what I need to do now? I need to build my code. I need to expand all my folders what you have in here. So you have lot many things in each and everything in here. See, so lot many things we have in it. So I have to expand everything. I need to go and open up each and everything. So try to your Azure will try to convert the code from some kind of inconsistent format to your consistent format, which you already saw when you saw your GitHub repository in here, right? So what the build job will do, it will try to read the code from your Azure repository now, and it will try to convert the code from inconsistent format to your consistent format. So this is nothing but my CI pipeline. The same thing now I will try to build on my own with respect to my Azure repository in here. So earlier when your code is in a GitHub, this CI and CD pipelines have been automated. At the same time, your web application has been created automatically in here. But now it's not the case. So you have to create your own CI pipeline, you have to create your own CD pipeline, and also you have to create your own web application to be deployed your .NET code in here. Okay, so let me go back now, and I would like to create my CI pipeline now. So see here, you can see something like a pipelines in here. Click on pipeline. When you click on pipeline in here, you can see something like create pipeline. Just click on it. So once you click on your create pipeline, so the what you're trying to do in here is like I'm trying to create a CI pipeline. CI pipeline in here. So this is my building of my pipeline what you have in here. So this is for building, that is my CI. Release is my CD. This is my CD pipeline in here. Okay, so now I already into my CI pipeline in here. Now is asking me, okay, where's your code? Because it has to read the code, it has to convert the code into the format where your Azure can understand and keep it ready for the deployment. So here it's asking you, is it like within your Azure Git repository, your Bitbucket, your GitHub? So you see here it's a kind of YAML format in here. So currently, as of now, we have not been yet into your YAML kind of concepts. Okay, so if you do not have concepts of YAML, then can we, or you can't we create your CI pipeline in here? Yes, we can do still without having your YAML concept even. So with that, by using your classic editor. So using the classic editor to create a pipeline without YAML. So using a classic editor, I am trying to create a pipeline without YAML in here. So just click on your classic editor. Just click on this link in here. So now it's trying to come up with some options in here. So where you have to provide, so that based upon that, you go ahead and try to create your CI pipeline in here. So again, it's asking you where is the source? Is it like in your GitHub? So from here as well, you can get the things from GitHub. Or Git repository in here, or some other Bitbucket, other Gits in here. So you can see currently my code is in my Azure repository in here. So choose the same thing in here, and the .NET app repository is also that based upon the name what you mention for your project, based upon the same name, you can find your repository created in here. So this is a repository in here, and you can see your branch by master. You can see by default master. So if you want, similarly you can create more branches in here as well. So within your pipeline, with your repos, you have a branching option. So you can create a new branches in here, and you can push your code to a respective branch. The similar case how we did in your GitHub in here. So currently by default it's a master branch in here. In GitHub it's a main, and here it's a master. That's the only difference. Okay. So click on continue. So now when you say continue, it's asking me choose the template. Select a template so that based upon that I can go ahead and I can create my CI pipeline in here. So see here, I can see .NET Desktop, Android, ASP.NET. I can see Maven, so Java, Apache, Maven, and in Python. Some, again, some expert workspace, Mac OS. So here I can see my ant. So here's like again Java project with Apache ant in here. And I can see ASP.NET Core. So the code what we have is like ASP.NET Core in here. So I'm just trying to see you can have lot many options in here, lot many things. So Gradle, Jenkins, you can see lot Node.js. So all these things are different things. You have multiple options with respect to the language what you have in here. So currently I'm trying to go with my ASP.NET Core in here. Go ahead and click on apply. So when I say my go and apply in here, see what's trying to do is this is the name which has been trying to provide. But that .NET app is my repository name or project name. ASP.NET Core is my template name hyphen CI. It's a CI pipeline. It's a continuous integration pipeline in here. So when you talk about my CI pipeline in here, so what do we have in this particular pipeline? So here the all the options what you see is purely related to my .NET only, guys, because the same options, the restore, the terminology what you see in here will not be same with respect to all of my applications. Where for Python it will be different, for Java it will be different, for Node.js it will be different. Okay, so based upon the application what you're working, you have to create your own CI pipeline in here. So this is for the respect my .NET only, .NET Core only in here. So this one I have restore, I have build, I have test, I have publish, and have publish artifact. So what is the need of these things in here? So you may not see the same terminology, but the backend main idea is the same, similar things for everybody. I want to build my, I want to read the data from my, read my code from a repository, build my code. That means convert the formats as per my Azure can understand, and try to publish a particular converted format to my into my web application. The backend it is same, but the way of processing will be different with respect to my things in here. Okay, so similarly, the first one you can see like restore. So when I say restore in here, restore. So this particular option is used to what? To read the code from my repository what I have in here. So this is to read the code from my repos, or I would say it's a Azure repos in here. So just to read it, because this is, I would say this is my source to initiate my CI pipeline in here. Okay, this is the source, or this is the initial point for my CI pipeline in here. Okay, initial point. This is what it's trying to do. It's trying, what are the code you have in your repository, it will try to restore, it will try to read the code from my Azure repository in here. So that is usage of the restore first point in here. Second thing is like once the data has been, once the code has been read, what it will do, it will go ahead and it will start building. Building means what? The same old stuff again. What is that? It will try to convert the consistent for inconsistent format to my consistent format in here. So second thing, have build. So what does it build in here? It try treat the code from GitHub, of course. Here once the read is happen in here, based upon your restore, the reading part is happen. Now it will convert the code from inconsistent format to consistent format in here. So this is the meaning of building. Building means it's trying to make sure that all the parts has been, what are the things are required from application, is everything looking good in here. So it will try to do its own testing internally in here again. So once the conversion is done, once the part has been converted as per my new things as per the things your Azure is trying to go with. Next we have what? Test. So test is something, it try to do its own internal testing. This is not like the test cases what we have externally. So this is the testing part which can be done by Azure internally. So based on few things, based on the language you have to choose in here. So here test means it will do some internal thing, internal testing, like whether we have your dot project file or cs files or not. All those things in here. We'll try to do some kind of internal testing, and finally it comes up my results in here. And finally, once the things are good in here, what I'll do, I'll try to publish. Publish means, in the sense here, whatever the code you have been converted, publish. So whatever the code have been converted, what I'll do, Azure will try to zip the code in a folder. So what are the code, or you can say that Azure will try to zip the converted code in a folder. That's a simple fund, I would say. So that's a simple statement I could say. Azure will try to zip the converted code into a folder. So in generally, it will be trying to zip in your dot, s dot zip. So this is S is a folder name. This is a folder name where the whole code which has been converted will be zipped in here. So this is publishing, in the sense like here, so you're trying to push all the code which has been converted to a folder, and later on zipping that. Later on zipping that particular folder is called the publishing here. So finally you have what? And this particular zip folder, what you see, this is called as your artifact. So this is a terminology will be used for the zip folder. So what we have in this particular zip folder, the code which has been converted from inconsistent format to a consistent format. That means what are the work done by a build job, that particular resultant code what we get, that will try to push into a folder, and that will be zipped in here. So this zip folder is called as what? Artifact. So publishing, in the sense we try to push your code to your zip folder, and nothing but it's called as your artifact in here. And finally what I'll do, I will try to publish my artifact. Publish my artifact. What does this mean? So once your code has been converted and saved in a zip folder or saved an artifact in here, so this will be saved in one of the internal folders with your respective Azure level in here. So from internal folder, where your artifact has been created, from there it will try to move to some other path where your deployment will be done. That means to make my deployment happen, I will try to move my code, or Azure will move the artifact from the place where it got created to another path where the artifact can be deployed in here. Okay, so publishing artifact, in the sense, what does it mean? Azure will move the artifact, that's nothing but my zip folder, publishing my artifact from the place where it got created to another path where the artifact can be deployed. So everything will be taken care by Azure, so nothing you need to do in here. Okay, so what does it mean by restore? Means to read the code from Azure repository, where I would say this is the initial point for my CI pipeline in here. And build means what are the code it has been read from Azure repository, so that code will be converted from inconsistent format to consistent format in here, where Azure can understand. Okay, and testing, this is like, you can keep it or you can ignore it, not a problem in here. So for example, you want to ignore any one of the steps in here, So right click and you can disable the task in here like this, or you can remove it totally in here, not a problem in here. So restore, build, publish and publish artifact. These are the main things what you have in here. Okay, so this is like option if you want to put it, or if you put it, it will be good for us, because some you'll try to do some internal testing in here. If everything is looking good, then it's very good for us. We can clearly say that the deployment will be done successfully. But if anything goes wrong, then we can come up with the results what happened in the testing phase in here. But if you want, you can put in there, or you can remove it, not a problem in here. So finally, publishing, what does it mean? What if the code has been converted to a consistent format? This resultant code, I'll be trying to push that code to my folder, or I would say to a zip folder in here. And that folder generally will go with your S. The name will be s.zip. And this zip folder is called as artifact. Okay, the Azure will try to zip the converted code in a folder in here, or try to push your code to a zip folder. Push the converted code to a zip folder in here, and that zip folder is called what? Artifact. So finally, what I'm trying to do, I'm trying to publish my artifact. That means whatever the Azure will try to move the artifact from the place where it got created to another path where artifact can be deployed into web applications in here. So these are the different steps which has to be followed to to get the things deployed into my respective web applications in here. So the same thing has been shown in here as well. Okay, so here restore, build, publish, and finally my publish artifact. So these are the steps which is been required for my CI pipeline only. Okay, now when you click on restore in here, see it's the restore command is trying to follow, and it's looking for what? My CS project file in here. Similarly build. So again, path for project. So this is very important. Now they're trying to go with some command, build command in here. So this just display name. So you can, if you want, you can change your name. Anything you want to go in here. Just display name in here. So this is the actual command where you can say publish, restore, your test. So you have built. So this is the commands where you follow to do the similar, the specific stuff based upon the scenario what we're into. Publishing it. So see here, zip published projects. So you're trying to publish your projects in here. So publishing means like they're trying to create your, the zip folder in here. So they're trying to see some artifact staging directory. So it's like a dollar. Dollar means it's like internal paths they're trying to take care by your Azure itself. Okay, so all the things you have in here, and finally my publish artifact. So again they're trying to path through publish. Again they're trying to go with some other path in here where, see, artifact name is what? Drop. So yeah, drop. Within the drop I have my zip folder, or I would say drop /, and within my drop folder I have my s.zip folder again in here. So altogether this is called as what? Drop is nothing but my artifact. So this particular part will be moved from the place where it got created to the place where it will be deployed into my web applications in here. Okay, but one thing in here is what? To run the things what we mentioned in here, to restore, to build, to publish, or to publish my artifact, to run all those things, I need some platform, correct? Because if you want to do anything, you need some kind of platform in here. So without a platform or without a base, I cannot do anything in here. So to run my just reading the part of my code, to building the code, or publishing the code, or publishing my artifact the code in here, I need a internal virtual machine in here, so that I can have my things run in here. So to mention that, you can see here some settings need attention. Click on this one. So it's asking for your agent specification. Agent specification, nothing but here they're trying to go with your Windows system or Ubuntu system or your Mac OS system. So this is something like, it's a kind of like a base where it can run all your things what need to be done for you. So you can choose Windows, right? Anything, Ubuntu latest, anything one you can choose in here, not a problem here. So agent is nothing but it's a kind of a platform where it's helping us to run all the options what has been required to publish my artifact finally in here. So restore is the initial point and publishing the artifact is a final point you have in here. So to run all those things what I require, I need a agent specification for sure in here. For that reason being, you can choose your respect to virtual machine or respect to OS in here or image in here, where internally it's trying to create its own agent, it's trying to create its own virtual machine internally, so that based upon that, the internal virtual machine, my things are being getting triggered. So without choosing your agent specification here, nothing will run in here. So keep this in mind. Okay. So any questions with respect to the different options what to solve for your things as of now? Okay. Yeah, Jitendra.
Yeah, sure. So basically, once we do the publish artifact, step one, publish artifact.
One second, guys. One second. One second. Okay. I'm sorry, there's a small voltage drop. So all of a sudden, just want to 2.5 minutes. Yeah, Jitendra, I'm trying to say something.
Yeah, yeah. Once go to that publish artifact in the portal.
Hello.
Yeah, am I audible? Hello,
Guys, can you hear me?
hello. Am I audible? Hello, hello. Am I audible now? Hello.
Jitendra, can you please type in the chat box what you want to say? Publish artifact in the portal. Okay. You're audible, but your voice is breaking.
Okay. How is it now? Hello, hello, hello.
Yeah.
Yeah, am I audible now?
Yeah, so dollar is a, it's a kind of parameterization where it has been taken within your Azure level. So when I say dollar, it's like internal value will be taken by your Azure level. So it's not a direct value. So it's a kind of parameterization. Parameterization is something, it's a kind of a masking technique in here. So you will not put your value directly in here, but that particular value will be masked, and that value will be pointed using your dollar value in here. So you can see the actual value when you're trying to run your pipeline. Okay, so this is your dollar value. Nothing but it's a masked value where it has been controlled by your Azure level. So it is not we have done it, but of course we'll talk about this particular part as well. So we'll try to we already saw the dollar values, we saw the variable section, right? So similar to that, when you're trying to create your pipelines, we'll try to add our own variables as well, similar to this one. So for now, this is the one which has been controlled by your Azure level. So instead of not putting your value directly, they're trying to put some mask value in here. Masked means unseen value. So the main value will be coming into picture when you're trying to run your pipeline. But for towards your main front screen in here, it will never show you the main value in here. So this is a parameterized value which has been controlled by your Azure. Okay. No, we don't have, right? We don't know where this particular value even has been saved. So if you have the parameter file with you, if you have your things available with you, then you can have a change. But we don't know where this particular file has been available. So you can do this change only when you're trying to go with the CI/CD pipeline using the YAML concept. Okay, because this is what purely we are depending upon your Azure, because I don't know YAML concept. So because so that isn't me, what I'm trying to do, I'm trying things for me. So when you try, I'll show you when you try to go to YAML pipeline. Okay. This points what CI pipeline what to see in here. Right. Yeah. Sure, Chandra. So now let me go ahead and let me try to start my things in here. So see here, I can see my save and queue and save. Save is just simply it will try to save your CI pipeline in here, but it will never triggers. But when I say save and queue, it will start running the things for you. It will start the process what we have saw, everything will be start completing for in here. And as per the process, what's the name? The CI pipeline name will be .NET App, ASP.NET Core and CI. If you want, you can rename it again. If you want, you can rename it as per your own things in here. So let me go ahead and say save and queue. When I say save and queue, so comment like running my CI pipeline in here. So save and run. It's starting running my pipeline now since agent job started in here. So this is like it will try to create do the things as per what we have discussed. So initialize my job. So check it out, restoring. So it's trying to restore the things. They try to read all the things as per the maybe internally we have a lot many. You're trying to pull the things from your Google, right? So probably trying to go to HTTPS and it's trying to pull the things in here. And once the restore is done, now build. So it's trying to build my job in here. And now it's trying to publish. See, let me go to publish back in here. So from where, see, this is the one. See, home, VSTS, work, one, S folder, bin, and this is the path you have some DLLs in here. See, all these things are what my directories where I have in here. So S, this is the S folder where you'll be having your converted code. Okay, so if you go and publish your artifact, you can see that one file upload succeeded. So where it is that now? That will be available in your home VSTS work 1 and 8. This is a so all these are what internal paths. So we no need to worry about all these things in here. So now if you go back to my publish artifact, it should say somewhere one artifact has been created. Let me check. It should show within my publish artifact only. So finishing a publish artifact is done. So I try to create a, as I told you, s dot folder. Even like somehow it's not showing up in here. But again, anyway, it's not the only one thing. We have lot many other multiple times we're trying to go with in here. So anyway, my CA pipeline has been completed successfully. Okay, I'll show you the Azure pipeline managed 3 things: initialize job, checkouts, source folder, store, build. I want to see where is that publish artifact is being created. It should shown in here only, but anyway, I'll show you again. So it's like a zip folder where you can see lot much changes with respect to your normal code, what you have put in your repository, and the code after conversion. There'll be lot much difference in here. So somehow I'm not able to view that. Let me check my artifacts. This is trying to convert with respect to my things in here. Anyway, so right, so this is like, I'm trying to create my, I have tried to build my what CA pipeline in here. So what next? So I have to create now my CD pipeline. Okay, so what does CD pipeline contains? So this is what your CA pipeline, CI, or continuous integration pipeline in here, integration pipeline in here, or your CI. So now coming back to my CD, continuous deployment, or CD. So within this one, you have again now, so two things in here. The very first thing is like, okay, do you want to deploy the things? Very good. The first thing I want to know, where is your source, or where is the artifact? Where is the artifact in here, so that I can pull my artifact, I can read my artifact and deploy that into my respect to web applications in here. So the first thing is like, I need to know where is your artifact, first thing. Second thing, where we need to, yeah, I'll come to that, Jitendra. Automatically my new code changes comes on, my CI pipeline will trigger. Please wait for some time, I'll come to that. Okay, so now next thing is like, where we need to deploy the code or deploy the artifact in here. So these are the two questions will be coming up, popping up with respect to my continuous deployment in here. So artifact, we already created that, so you need not to you don't need to mention any specific path in here. So automatically that will be taken care, or you have to simply choose the file name. So you saw like $build staging some some path where my artifact is ready. So that's what, right? So now it's trying to push to another path where my artifact can be deployed. So now currently my artifact in some other path where it's ready to deploy in here. So now let me choose my artifact, and later on we can provide the details where do you want to deploy the artifact in here, but where I can create my CD now. So earlier I created my CD, so I created my CI pipeline using my pipelines in here. See the symbol. Okay, so when you see the repos in here, I can, this is succeeded. So I can see my symbol in here itself, the same symbol what you saw in your pipeline. For the first when you try to run it, you can see the same symbol over there only. That's what for continuous integration only. But for continuous deployment, I have my releases in here. Click on my releases now. So this is a separate pipeline to have my deployment happen. So when I click on my new pipeline in here, as I told you, two things need to be addressed. One is like, where is your artifact? Another thing like, where we need to deploy the artifact. So go back now. So see here, it's showing you artifact, and this is your, the first one, where is your artifact, and where you want to deploy the artifact in here. There's nothing but stages. So now what do you want to do? I want to deploy my application within my Azure app services or my web applications in here. So I'm trying to click on my apply. So once you click on apply in here, so you have the stage name, because the process which is running internally, it should have some name. So you can keep it as stage 1, or you can say something, dev to prod, anything like this in here. So same stage name. So you don't have any save button, simply close it. So once you provide the name in here, now you can see one job, one task in here. Just click on that. So here, this is stage name, and that you have to mention some kind of parameters in here. So here they're asking you what is the web application name you want to deploy it. Okay. At the same time, can you please authorize my subscription, so that you can go ahead and you could do the work in here. So before coming to my this particular authorization part in here, let me try to create my web application first, and then let me choose that web application within my this drop down list in here. Currently I don't have anything in here, so probably you may not get anything as a result in here, so you don't see any results in here. So now what I will do, I will go ahead to my home page. Let me create my app services. Don't see my app. Create my app services in here. Click on create. Choose create a new VRIT-RG, my resource group name, and my app services, something like .NET app is VRIT. It's available. So I'm trying to publish a code in here, and it's a ASP.NET. So .NET code. So I'm going with my 3.1. I'm trying to deploy this, or I'm trying to run my app services internally with respect to my Linux system. So, and I would like to go with my East US, and I've changed my plan. So I would like to pick my dev environment related stuff in here, so that I can have less amounted, debited. So apply, deployment, monitoring, review plus create. So let us go ahead and click on create in here. So based upon the things what I mentioned in here, I am trying to see here it's not enabled. It's here it's not enabled. Continuous deployment is not enabled in here. So as you can set up after creation, but I would not do using my this particular option available within portal level. I would like to go using my pipelines level. So my deployment part is going on now. So once this is done, I can go ahead and I can choose this web application name within my CD pipeline what I have in here. Okay, so let this come up. But meanwhile, let's talk about your authentication. So here it's asking, it's asking to choose the subscription in here, Azure subscription. So just go ahead and choose a subscription here. So once you choose a subscription, it's asking to authorize. So why it is for? See here, the code, it belongs to totally yours. So whatever code you have within your repos level, it's purely your code. Based upon your things, your developer, what is provided, you mentioned it in here. At the same time, the code, which you're trying to deploy, the web application in here, it's done very good. The web application here is purely, again, it's based upon your subscription. See, I can see my Sham subscription, my resource group in here. Right, so everything is thing in here is yours only, but who is trying to help you, to deploy the artifact within your web application? I'm not doing on my own manually. I'm not pushing it manually in here. Who's trying to help it? My Azure. Okay, so to make it is like you're trying to provide the permission. Azure, okay, go ahead. I'm trying to provide my access to my subscription, so that you can pull the code from a repository. At the same time, you can deploy my code into my respective web application here, where both of my things have been created using my subscription. Okay, so if you do not provide the authorization for subscription, then Azure will not have access to your subscription and it may not able to deploy the things for you in here. For that reason being, I need to authorize. So authorization means I'm trying to provide access to my Azure. Okay, go ahead and use my subscription, or you can see whatever things I have in my subscription and you can do whatever you want in here and go and deploy my things within my things in within my web application in here. So finally, I'm done with my things in here. So now I need to choose the things based upon what I mentioned when you're trying to create your web application. So I mentioned like app on Linux. So now when you click on your drop down box, I should see my web application. So just click on your web application in here and simply save it. So what I'm trying to do, I'm trying to choose my subscription and I'm trying to choose my web application in here. So this is the second half I'm trying to do it, where you want to deploy the things. What is subscription? What is the application name, web application name in here, all those things in here. So I complete my details in here. I'm just trying to save it. So you can provide some comments and you can save it if you want. So it's saved. So now go back to my pipeline. See, it's in task now. I'm going back to my pipelines in here. So now my second half of my things is been done. But now what I want to do, I want to choose my artifact. So I need to, because without a source, if you do not have any artifact, then what is the need of providing all the details in here? It's meaningless, right? So go ahead, click on your artifact. So it's already built, and you can see your name in here. All the artifacts which has been built with respect to multiple, this is my repository name. See, this I can see my project name. So within the same project in here, I can see my CI pipeline which has been created successfully in here. So choose that, and you can always pull your latest information, because whenever you have a code change, every time based upon the new code, it will try to read the code from your repository, build the code by converting the code as per the standards, and again it will try to create your artifact in here. So every time what I want to do, I want to pull my latest code or latest version only. So choose latest in here. Okay, by default everything will be coming up. So what you have to do is something like, just try to click on add button. That's it. So now I have mentioned my so I mentioned my artifact details, and also I mentioned where you need to go and deploy things in here. Okay, so go ahead and click on save. So if you want to provide the comments and save it. So now what I have done, I'm good. I've already completed my CI pipeline. My artifact is ready. And now I have tried to mention my details for my CD pipeline with respect to my artifact name and my staging in here, with respect to my deployment part, where you want to deploy in here. So before that, go to my resources in here for my web application. So you'll be having your default URL. Click on the URL. So you should be able to see your default page coming up in here. Okay, let it come, not a problem. But now what I'm trying to do, after completing my providing my artifact details, after completing my providing my web application details, I have to create my release pipeline. Okay, so this pipeline, what you have done is like you just started the pipeline. So once you provide the details, just click on your create release. So when you say create release in here, this is like it's a earlier you did each and everything separately you have a artifact details, separately you provide your application details, your app service details, everything in here. But now I can see in a single page. So try to choose the staging name what you have in here. Okay, this is your staging name. Within this particular stage name, I'll be having all my details of my web application, my subscription name, all the things in here. And where do you want, where is the artifact? So this is my artifact. My current version is so and so. So this is my latest version. If you want to deploy any other version, you can choose from the drop down list in here. But I'm trying to choose my latest version every time in here. Okay. So this is what, this is just like it's an overview of overall briefly describing the things with respect to my artifact and my web application or app service details in here. So go ahead, click on create. So one release has been created successfully in here. So now go back to my releases in here. So I can see my release 1 has been created successfully in here, and this is not yet deployed. Okay, meanwhile, go back in here. So I can see something like, web application is running and waiting for your content. Okay, so this is the default page we have in here. Now I'm trying to push the content in here anyway. So now how can I trigger it? So go to my releases in here. So when you go to in here, so just place your pointer in my stage level. It show you deploy. Click on my deploy in here and say deploy. Now it's been queued, it's in progress. Now I can see my agent running in here. So what is that? It will try to pull my things from my artifact and it will try to deploy that into my web applications in here. That's your deployment process. So there's a CD process has been going on currently in here. Okay, it's waiting for the request to be queued. So within my Azure level, there may be lot many resources at the back end who's trying to run all the jobs for us. So sometimes lot many jobs may be busy in running some other jobs for some other subscriptions for some other customers. So we have to wait for some time, so that it can start our pipeline or start our runs in here. Since here waiting for my connection for my dotted application. So download artifact has been completed from a drop succeeded. Let me go back in here. Even I don't see artifact in here, but I can see my drop folder. It went to my drop folder and it copied the things in here. Okay. So packing using a zip deploy initiated. See, because zip is folder, the code is in zip folder, right? So it should be unzipped. So they're trying to deployment using your zip folder deploy initiated in here. So it's been running. So once this is done, now I should be able to see my own code, my actual code as per my things what we have within your the code level in here. So meanwhile, yeah, successfully deployed the package to my app services. Very good. So now it's try to restart my services for my Azure App Engine so that it can update my code and it will reflect with my new things in here. Let me check. Yeah, finally. Yeah, good. Very good. So I can see my new code came up in here. So to-do list, Azure App Services, REST APIs, all those things in here. So this is the actual code what we have. So you can you do whatever you want. You can add it, or else you can add that, or you can delete the existing one in whatever you had in here. So, but this should be complete totally to have my successful run of my things in here. I can see my things got changed, but I'm not able to. Yeah, see, I can see a lot many things now. So if you want, you can delete it, delete this one, delete, refresh your page. I can see everything gone. So this is based upon my code, what I have in a sample code. I'm able to get this particular part in here. So let me see. Yes, complete successful. Very good. So finalized job and everything has been completed in a successfully in here. So now this is your complete flow, right? For my pipelines, what I have in here. So my CI pipeline has been done. Similarly, my CD pipeline also deployed succeed in here. So now in either of the way, what I have done in your, in a manual mode. Okay. So, but what I want to do, I don't want every time when I make a change in code level, I don't want to do it in your manual. Every time go ahead and go to run this one, redeploy. Suppose I have got a change in code in here. Suppose I am trying to go to my pipelines in here, click on my pipeline, click on edit button, or you can say go and run it again. So you can say queue it again. So every time I don't want to run this manually. So I want to make this as automated. So now you can see, within my here, within my code level, index.html. So I see something where my to do. I can see Azure App Services Test API sample in here. So this is coming for this particular party, Azure App Services REST API sample. I want to change this one. I also want to change my to-do list. I also want to change my title page as well. So I want to change everything. So I want to make a change in my code level. So once I have a code change, again, I don't want to run the things manually again. Queue it in here. After completing this, go back to my releases in here. Click on your release in here again, and again redeploy. I don't want to do it every time manually in here. So I want to make this as a automated process. Using your classic editor, I'm trying to make this a automated process in here. So how can you make it as automated? So see here, what I'll do here, go to my first build pipeline, click on your pipeline and say edit. Within your edit, you can see triggers, right? Click on your triggers in here. So you can see enable continuous integration. So and just enable this one. And here just say save, don't run it. I just want to make it as continuous integration. That's it. Just save my option. Similarly, go to the releases tab, click on edit. Here you can see the Spark, the power kind of things in here. Click on your and you can enable continuous deployment trigger in here. Okay, and what I want to say, I want to just save it. So I don't want to run it, guys. I want to just save it. So continuous deployment has been enabled in here. Similarly, within my CI pipeline as well, I can see my continuous, within my trigger level, I can see continuous integration in here. So now what I'll do, I'll make a change in the code level in here. And once I push my code to my repository, when a new code comes into my repository in here, my pipeline should trigger continuously, automatically, without any manual intervention what we have done earlier. Okay, so let me go and try to change the things in here. So instead of sample all those things, I'm trying to go with my something like welcome to Azure Devops, something like this, and my title page. So this is my title. Title means generally this is what you see in here. See to-do list, a client for sample REST API, all those things you have in here, right? The same thing you can see in here. So I want to remove everything, and I want to say welcome to VRIT solutions. And similarly, the main body level to-do list. So this is the body, what you have in here, the main part, the to-do list. So I want to make a change in here as well. So here I would say something, DevOps experts list, something like this. Okay. So it was some double quotes. So I made a change in my code level in here. Now I'm trying to go ahead and trying to say save or control S, both are the same. So once you say control S, I can see something within my source control saying that something has been updated. Now this has been modified. This has to be modified in here. Index.html in my www root folder, that has to be modified in here. So I'm trying to say, okay, code changed code changed, commit, yes. Now I need to push it. So once I push it, I should be able to see my new code within my repository level. At the same time, my CI pipeline should trigger automatically, and after that, my CD pipeline should also trigger automatically. Let's see that. Push it. Now just refresh your page. Now within my www index.html, I can see, yeah, see, welcome to VRIT solutions, welcome to Azure DevOps, okay, and DevOps experts list. What you have? Let's see the pipeline quickly. So start running in here. So start running. So let's see the agent job. Now I believe I can show you the artifact. So restoring your build, your publish artifact. So this is done. See, I can see now one artifact got published, produced, and I'll show you this one later on. Let me click on this. See, this is a drop folder, and underneath that I have a s.zip folder. This is the actual artifact what I have in here. So now if you want, you can go ahead and download it, download your artifact. So I'll open and show you, but meanwhile, let's go ahead and try to see what's happening in your release. Is it started or not? Yeah, it's been started. Very good. So I can see release 2 now. And let's see what is status of your release pipeline. See, it's in progress. So click on. Just trying to show you things in here, or okay. So it's automate trigger, deployment triggered automatically. So now deployment progress in here. Okay. So meanwhile, let it happen. So let me open up my folder, my s.zip. Let's see what's have inside that. Let me extract files in here. Double click on s.zip. See, this is your converted code. So the main code what I have is this one. So this is the actual code what I have. This actual code what I provided, and this is the one actually has been converted as per your Azure standards. Okay. So this is we've been providing your s.zip folder, and within your artifact called drop folder. So within your drop folder, I have all those things information in here. Okay. So this is the converted code. This is the converted code what you see in here, and the code which I provided is this one. So see the difference. So this has been taken care by Azure automatically. It's not like any code we wrote to expand the things in here, nothing like that. It's been automatically taken care by your Azure. This is the actual converted code what we have in here. Okay, let's go back. Now let's see what's the status we have in here. So cancel this one. Yeah, succeeded. Very good. So go back to my things, and I'm to refresh. Let's see. Yeah, perfect. So I can see welcome to my PRIT solutions, welcome to my Azure Devops, and here Devops expert list. So as per my things, it went well, right? So if you make a change again, so I can see something like this is no gap between 2 and Azure. I'm trying to provide a gap now. Again, I can go ahead and say Control S, go and push it again. Code changed again, or tick yes and push it. So once you say push it, automatically now my pipeline should start in here. So it started. So it's in queue. It's running in here successfully just now. It started. So you can see the status again. My CI pipeline will be completed, and it'll try to pull my latest release CI pipeline in here. What the artifact has been created, and based upon that, my new release things, things will be released or deployed into my web application successfully in here. It's totally automated way. So probably first time you have tried to do it, using your manual method, but now it's purely automated way. So it's a continuous integration. It's a continuous deployment what you have in here. Okay. So this particular part is done. Now go to back releases in here. So this is start. See, I can see 1 and 2, which is older one. Now I can see my release started automatically in here. So it's been queued. So using your, so this is a continuous deployment in here. Now it started in here, and it's in queue now currently. So it is ready for the job. It's connecting now currently. So once connected, it will go ahead and try to deploy things what you have in here. Okay. So this is for your respective .NET guys. So the release pipeline will be similar. You will not see much difference in here, but the CI pipeline will keep on changing in here. So because with respect to each and every, as I told you, the terminology what to see in here, the restore, your build, your publish artifact, this is not be common for respect to all the applications, all the languages or what you write in here. So with respect to the technology or respect to the application what you're trying to go with, the code you are having in, the things will be different. See here, for example, let this run. I'm going to my pipeline back in here. I'm trying to create a new pipeline. So this one, I'm trying to go with my classic editor again. And this time, I would like to choose some, let's go with Marvin, some Java project with Apache Marvin in here. Or let me choose with Python. Click on apply. See here, you can see built and test, publish. So finally, the things will be published to my artifact. But the way you see in here, it's trying to install your dependencies, PyTest, you're publishing test results to some XML format. So using again, you're trying to publish your things to my artifact. So the things will be changed in here. So overall, the process is backend, main backend idea is what, to handle the things similarly. We'll read the code, build the code and publish to my artifact. But with respect to the language or respect to my the technology what you chose, the process will change in here because Python cannot run with the .NET kind of stuff in here. So Python needs some some internal dependencies to be installed to read your Python code, to compile your Python code, to test your Python code. Some things need to be installed internally. What is that? Flask, or we have pip install. You click on here, see Python pip install. Pip is one of the concept where it's trying to install your based upon the requirements what you need in here. Sorry, this is the syntax that's trying to fall internally. So what are the things you want to install that will be mentioned in your requirement.txt. So there is nothing but my Flask actually. So within my requirement.txt, I have Flask in here, and Flask is again one of the it's a component within your Python. So if you have knowledge in Python, probably you maybe understand this particular part in here. But you don't need to learn Python. I'm not saying that you have to learn it. So if you do not know how can you create a CI pipeline using a Python, don't worry. Just choose a template in here. So only one thing you should do is don't make any changes in here. Leave as it is. Keep as it is or whatever it has done. Make everything same in here. Only thing is like choose your agent. Choose agent and simply save and queue. Automatically it start running for you in here. But again, to have my things run, you should have your code. You know, see here, where is my PyTest? So you should have some your .py, some py dot, the extension should be .py, because the files, the requirements what you have in here, that will be implemented within my .txt file in here. So the way of code what you have will be different with respect to my .NET. So .NET, as I told you, you will be need like your project file for sure, but for Python you need some .py files, something like that. So based upon the things, the things will be different in here. It's not the same case for everything. Similar to my what you see in here. For similar again, going back in here, now I'm trying to go and click on leave it, not a problem. Create a new pipeline, and I would like to go with my Java, for example. Let me go with my classic editor again. Continue. Now I would like to go with something like and Java. So see the here, so small in here. So here they are trying to look for .xml, build.xml file in here. So this is important. So build it, copy the files to some the staging internal path where you want to go with, and publish artifact. This is so simple with my and Java project in here with respect to Apache and in here. With respect to Python, I have lot many. With respect to my .NET, I have restore, build, publish, and artifact. So for every technology or every language what you choose here, that will be different in processing the things in here. But Java will be running in different process. Python, to handle your Python, we'll go with a different process in here, and to handle your .NET code should be in a different process in here. So your CI pipeline will keep on changing based upon the things, but the CD is common. Where is your artifact? Where you want to deploy it. That's it. Nothing more than that. The only thing is keep on changing is what? Your CI pipeline. Okay, so your classic editor helps us in creating your CI/CD pipelines using your YAML concept. So you can see YAML. So just copy this and paste it over there. Now you may not understand what is this one. So, but your classic editor really helps you in creating your YAML pipeline when you want to go in your YAML concept. And that is what you actually have in your real-time perspective as well. So classic editor, what we saw today is like your introduction to your pipeline. It's introduction to how you're trying to go using your manual method, but this is not the actual way you try to go on. Of course, your classic editor also works well, but sometimes it may not work for some kind of complex things in here. So usually we'll try to jump into your YAML concept. So that is actually what we have in here in the real-time perspective even. So what is YAML? How can you create YAML in my YAML? And how can you create your YAML pipeline using your classic editor? So just using my classic editor, I don't know anything, not a problem. Go to classic editor, choose respect to template. You'll be getting the things in here. Try to copy the YAML. See, view YAML. I can see this is my YAML pipeline. In fact, this is my YAML pipeline here. So using the same logic, I just copy this one and I put in my YAML and I will run it. So instead of going with the user interface, I'm trying to go with my YAML concept in here. So how can you create your YAML pipeline using classic editor? We'll try to see all those things in your next classes. Okay. Can we add new steps in CI pipeline to validate configure? So here, with respect to my pipeline, see here, if you want, you can add a new agent job. So clone task, yes, we have create task group in here, but I don't believe it works in here for me. So generally it's not required, but if you want, see, when you are going to CI pipeline with the YAML concept, then you can add more. Whatever you want to add, you can add it over there. So this is just a template with respect to my main part, what you have in your YAML. So with respect to .NET or respect to my Java or respect to my Python, what you have in here. But when you are in CI pipeline, yes, you can add more tasks, more stages, so that you can, whatever you want to do, you can do it over there. That's the reason being people prefer YAML than template. Template is a, it's a, that has been stop. I mean, you do not see everything in here. So what are the mainly things that require? Only that level in you have in here. So this is up to some limit you have in here. But if you want to add more, you want to go with more testing, more things, you want to add it. I suppose I have my code and I want to deploy in my multiple web applications same time. If you create a YAML pipeline, in that pipeline you can add all your web applications name. You want to go with 10 web applications, try to mention all the names over there. Immediately try to download the artifact once, but try to deploy the same artifact into my 10 web application, because I have to provide all those details in your CI pipeline or CD pipeline with just using your YAML concept. So if you want to add anything, go ahead and try to create your YAML concept, but not here. So this is just for introduction level. What do you mean by CI? What do you mean by CD? What do you mean by continuous integration here? What do you mean by continuous deployment in here? Just to understand that particular part, we went in here. So going forward, I'll start my YAML concept. Let's try to understand that first, and let's try to see how can you add more tasks inside that, or how can you create, your YAML file using your classic editor, what we have in here. Okay. So that's all, guys, with respect for today's class. Any questions? Okay, then we can wind up for today. We'll meet tomorrow. Sachin, it was amazing. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Thank you guys then. We'll meet tomorrow again, same time, back end with more concepts on your YAML. We'll see how it goes from there. Bye bye guys.